Okay, recording. Now the where we were last with this zoetrope, I glued this carefully and bit by bit around the edge, and let it sit. Leave it in a place where it would dry kind of stable. Take these drafting dots off without damaging anything too badly. If you tear the paper a little bit, that's okay. Some of these will still be sticky, so you can, I often will take my dots or drafting tape and just kind of stick it on the end of something like that. It's not flush to the table, so that I can potentially use them again. That's what they're made to be pulled up and reused, which lasts for a little while. At some point you'll notice that they don't really stick to anything anymore. They pick up too much of the material in this paper or the foam board, then it won't work. But now this looks good. Come on. There you go. Now, good. Now I've got this. I might want to. Yeah, that's okay. That's stuck. That's all stuck together. That is great right there. I also put a cardboard on on either side of the foam board where the stick goes through. That helps to stabilize this so that it won't wobble. And I completed this. So the drum, let's get the light shining right in there. There you go. So the white drum, like that white drum for the, for this works just fine. You can still see through there. And of course, if you look here, you just see that thing racing past, but then here you see the animation. I know this video quality might not be the most spectacular. Okay. So I guess with the black, you wouldn't see this, the light coming through and it's showing you the animation strip, but that's fine. That's no big deal. Good. So mainly I want you to have this stable. So I don't, excuse me, necessarily need the straw. I don't keep straws around, but if I were to take this straw off of this one, and use it, won't even fit. It's not even going to fit in there. So this is not necessary. I can just hold it here and just let it, spin through my, not let it wobble too much. So when you take a picture of these, make sure there's light going inside and align. And you also sort of the alignment doesn't really matter that much. I've learned as long as it's the same number of cells here for slots. And then just if you're going to take a picture of it, make sure you can see if the light shining on here makes it hard to see what's inside. So only the light down shining directly in, so that there's some shadow out here. There, that'll show me that it works. All right. Let's try not to shine light directly into everyone's eyes. So now that's done. And now, and this actually worked out fine that I had this like little, like the last one's a little bit large. So close enough works for this. So then, these I just darkened them with a marker. It's the direction I drew them originally, and just gradually bigger, then gradually smaller, and that's it. That will solve one. I want you to make 3 of these. And so if you look at some of my examples from older ones, this one is kind of cool because you see that it looks, what it will look like is this white circle is revolving around the green circle. And it's kind of a cool effect. This one here, these 3 shapes, there are 3, 1, 2, 3 spaces in here. These 2, the outer and inner, move in the same direction, and the middle one moves in the opposite direction. So that just takes, excuse me, a little bit more planning, where you're just paying attention to the shift from one cell to the next. Basically, you're doing it in 3 different places. And as always, since you have access to the internet, look this. I mean, if you look up zoetropes on the internet, you're going to find a lot of information. So there are those 2 videos linked in the in Blackboard, and that's just a beginning. So the concept, it's like the principle of it is pretty simple, and then it doing it, as always, is something that will take a little effort, maybe some trial and error, because if you haven't done it before, then you have to figure things out. So I want to see. I'm going to make these, instead of 1.5 inch tall, because I did not account for the thickness of the board that I used for the base. I'm going to make these 1.25 inch. Quarter. Set this aside for a moment. I gotta make all this. Watch broad on your scale here. Go. There. And 1.25. And here comes Elliot, making his way over here. Elliot, come here. Yeah, come here. Come say hello to all the nice people. There he is. Hey. You want to help me? Okay. The metal ruler for cutting. Don't use your scale as a cutting straight edge, because your knife will be right up on the plastic, and when it invariably rides up onto the scale, you're going to cut, and some of those measurements will be unreadable. And I know, because I did that when I was in high school. and I sliced up my scale and made my scale unusable. And I was taking a drafting class, and I had to get a different scale since I learned the hard way that the reason my teacher told us not to use it as a straight edge for cutting. All right, I'm going to just cut these and splice this together. Good. Careful. One firm cut. Oops, out for the blade, hon. One firm cut will get through that. I is looking very closely to make sure I do this right. Excuse me, little man. He wants he wants me to pet him. Oh, yeah. Baby. All right. Whoops. So I got. Let's play with this. I gotta do this. Sorry, I gotta use this for. Yeah, little tiger. He's a little tiger. Oh, tooth mark. That will do. Okay. No. That is a knife. Don't touch that. Sweet boy, but don't do that. Okay. So to make this long piece here, to keep it aligned, because I need to overlap it just a little bit, since the inside of the circumference of that circle that is my drum, it's pretty large. It's almost 24 inches. So this is 12-inch paper, so I don't have a lot left, a lot of room. So I think initially I'll stick that together. Then I'm going to take my straight edge. You know what I need to do? Move this since I'm not. Don't chew on the drafting dots. They're bad. That's goes for all of you too. Don't chew on your drafting dots. Far from nutritious. So if I just take the straight edge and do that, and there's the splices right here, I can see that that this is even. That it's going to be straight or straight enough. Good. Now, glue. A little white glue. You can use rubber cement for this. The white glue is also okay. Just there. Make sure the hole doesn't have any dried glue in it. That's in. Glue's not good for you either. It's not kitty food. Okay. Can you tell I really like this little cat? He's a nice little kitty. He's been with me for just a little more than 11 years now. Technically, he's an elderly cat. He doesn't seem to think so. No. Okay. Just put this back here and make sure. Sure this, at least this one edge is good. Okay, good. A little bit of glue on that surface is okay. Just don't overdo it and let it get super dirty. Get the dot off of that. Okay, dots on both sides. Good. Now, these are, my animation cells are right around 1 1/4. Look out, Elliot. You're such a little weirdo. Oh, okay. They like to play. Yeah, so that's like well, get them a little smaller. That's a little error in measurement. It should be 1 1/4. Now, what you can do if you want to prep 3, maybe 4 of these, and just do that so that you have all of your all of these strips drawn with all of your divisions ahead of time. Then you can just batch that work and make that a little bit more efficient. But I'm going through this slowly because it's a demonstration. All right. So this one, if I started right on the edge there. No, you don't really want to play it with that. Okay, I'll just put it there. So right on the edge, with my strong glasses. Going to sharpen my pencil. Oh, I already probably sharpened it right over there. Okay. One. Right. So I just add 1 1/4. You just do your like a little bit of math. Mm-hmm. 5, 1 1/4, so 6 1/4, 7 1/2, 8 3/4, 10, and 11 1/4. This again. 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and 5. 6 1/4, 7 1/2. Make sure you get it in the right spot. Otherwise, you'll end up with a short one. You want this to work out. Okay. 2. These don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Got that extra bit this will overlap behind that one. Okay. So again, similarly, when I ran into this, before that, I want to keep my divisions square, so I want it to be a right angle off of that edge. If I had a tiny triangle, I could use it. Or I have a straight edge. I can just use the straight edge on my cutting mat. Sorry, I'm at my cutting mat. So if I align this, get it in the way. I can do this here. So the measurement is there. I might, let's say I put this here, if this is aligned on this horizontal line on the cutting mat, up there a little bit more, Elliot. So this is aligned here, then I'm going to use these marks at 90 degrees to try to keep it approximately perpendicular. So I can see, like, I'm just like checking this, like, space here, the space here. So I don't necessarily have to have all these aligned or keep shifting, like, keep shifting the piece of paper on the cutting mat. I can just approximate. If I see like it's angled based on that line there, so then I will move it again. Close enough. Okay. Around the kitty a little bit. See that one? So you get the idea, I hope, that you want even. I want to just keep this vertical as I can. I mean, really, if you're just using like this one with this circle that gets bigger and smaller, I don't even need those divisions anymore. Those are there just to make sure that I space this out at the right distance for each of the frames. So there. Here, use the eraser to position that. Good. Can you move up a little? Forget which is 2. Okay. I believe I have that. I think we'll do. Let's take this. Put this in here. press that against the wall. And I'm going to mark. If we're going to press against that wall, then I'll put a mark there for where the overlap happens. I know that the last one is just a little bit larger. I possibly could have just tried to like fudge this so that it's just a teeny bit bigger than 1 1/4. But if I go too much, then I'm going to have too small for this last one. So that's fine like that. Then it's a matter of doing what I did here, one thing at a time. Remember from my last video, if you want to find the center, like if you want to place something in the center of each cell, if you cross the diagonal, you will find the middle. So if you want something to go across, let's say, I want something to just sort of come in and go out. If I leave that, something that happened with one of my others, just going to make that one diagonal like that. If I start with like a little guy, make this gradually slide down this wire, and I can see like if I go from here over to there, I know that I need to make it a little bit lower from the center. Actually, I might even leave that. So you could have like, you can do this with like error right there. I didn't have my diagonal, so I didn't have that to draw over to. Now I'm doing this really gradually because I've got 18, and you can try to I might even just sketch this out, give myself an idea. If the amount I'm changing it is the right amount, because I might be going too slow, I might be going too fast. And here, good. That. So like here, if I leave this last frame blank and the first one is blank, there will be a slight pause, but what's going to happen is it's going to be like this little circle will slide down this wire. So I want to draw the wire, that like black line, and then that circle, and then it'll just gradually come down. And I need to correct that. Okay, so I do want to draw, so I want to use a straight edge and draft this all the way. So that all of those are going to be as precise as I can make them. Okay, so that is making another animation strip, measuring this out. Of course, the number of cells I have in mind is based on the circumference of this circle that I used. If you use a smaller one, it will not be the same measurement. And if you're using cells that are like 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches wide, a smaller circumference for the drum of this means that you will have fewer animation cells. Okay, that will do it for this morning. I'll see you on Thursday, and we will wrap up this assignment, and we'll talk about the vocabulary quiz that you'll take during exam week.